Andy Flexen here for Seconds Out with 9-0 middleweight prospect Denzel Bentley. Denzel, you've just worked out at Brent Cross ahead of your Wembley Arena appearance on Saturday. How'd you feel?
Feel good. I'm ready to go. I'm just excited. 5 weeks, the longest week in it, so just have to drag this week out, and then can't wait to get into the ring Saturday and do the business.
We haven't interviewed you before, I don't think. Some of the other outlets have, of course. Just tell us a bit about your background and how you first got into boxing.
I started boxing. Well, I had my first amateur fight when I was 19. I started boxing because of my brother. When I was about 15, he bought some boxing gloves, and we used to just scrap around the area in our blocks, on the grass, wherever. And then me and him used to call people out, and we used to beat everyone up, and people were like, you should actually do it. But obviously, you can't find a boxing gym nowadays. They're all under these little tunnels and stuff. So when I got to college, I met a friend that was boxing, took me down to his gym. I was about 17. Then that's when I got into it fully, and I had my first amateur fight a couple of years later.
Is your brother older or younger?
My older brother. He's older than me, yeah.
And he didn't pursue it?
He started. He probably would have been better than me, but he didn't pursue it. He didn't have time. He's one of them guys where it's like, if he's not making money now, then he can't be bothered.
There's a lot of them guys out there. Well, what college did you go to and which gym did you start at?
I went to St Charles in West London, but my first amateur gym was Fisher, down Bermondsey. Yeah, I'm from South London, so that was my first Fisher Bermondsey, yeah.
And how many amateur fights did you have in the end?
I had 17, so not a lot. So I kind of moved on quick, but I spent a lot of time in the gym sparring and stuff. I've been at Peacocks about a year and a half before I actually turned pro. So I spent all my time in the gym trying to progress and get there quickly.
Was it a difficult decision to turn over? Because on the one side you're a bit older when you started, so there's a sense to rush. But on the other side you could have stayed amateur longer, got more experience before turning over.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I wanted to stay amateur and do the ABAs and stuff. But then I just started thinking I want to carry on with life now, because I was doing the amateurs. Obviously you don't earn enough from the amateurs, you do it for fun and stuff. But when the fun died down, it was like, what do I do now? So I thought, you know what, I think turning pro will give me that extra spark again to actually love it again. So let's try it out. If it don't go well, I was going to stop anyway. So I just turned pro, started enjoying it. I didn't even have a fight, I just started enjoying it because of the thought of, I'm a professional now, let's get it done. Started enjoying it and I'm loving it right now.
Tell us some of the top names you've sparred so far.
I sparred with John Ryder, and loads of rounds with John Ryder. I've done loads of rounds with Ted Cheeseman, done loads of rounds with Ahmed Patterson before he obviously disappeared and stuff. Sparred Alan Higgins, good fighter as well. Larry Akandayo, good fighter, he's got a good mind, I love sparring him. And that's I can think of off the top of my head right now, yeah.
Who have you learned the most from in sparring, would you say, so far?
Definitely Ahmed Patterson, because that was when I was just making the transition from amateur to professional, and his style was the best. So like, the way I box is learned a lot from him. I give him credit for that. Like obviously, apart from my trainers teaching me and stuff, a lot of things I've learned in that ring is from him. So yeah. So that's what I've learned from the most.
Did you know him before getting into boxing?
No, I didn't. I never met him until I stepped into the gym, and we just used to do loads of rounds together. He used to move me about first. Then he used to move me about. Then it started getting more competitive. Then it started like I'm at that level now, and I thought if I can have a good spar with him, then I can be ready for professional rankings, because I think he's one of the best fighters I've been in the ring with, sparring-wise.
Do you think he'll ever come back?
No, I don't think he'll come back. He came back and then went again, so yeah.
You're obviously fighting just above middleweight at the moment because you're not competing for titles yet, but is that where you see yourself when it gets to that title class? Is it still going to be middleweight or possibly lower?
No, definitely middleweight. I'm comfortable at middleweight. Like you said, I haven't made championship weight yet, but the weight I'm boxing at now I'm comfortable at. As you can see, I'm getting rid of them, so I'm very comfortable, strong and stuff, so I'll be competing at middleweight. For now, yeah.
Now, looking at your record, there's been some kind of tough journeymen, but you're yet to fight someone with a winning record. Yeah. This Saturday's not going to change that fact. It'll be 10-0 against guys with not winning records. Yeah. Is that excused to an extent, or explained to an extent, by the fact you did have such a brief amateur career?
Well, I don't like to use my amateur career as an excuse to why I haven't fought anyone with a winning record and stuff. But obviously, when I started out, I was fighting on small shows and stuff. So my team were just building me up to get to that position where we can fight for titles and stuff. And obviously along the way, we ended up signing with Frank Warren. So we kind of got to take that step back and do that kind of, not learning stage, but building up stage again. Building up on this platform and getting everyone on the BT platform to know me. So I guess that's why. But if you ask me, I'm ready to step in with guys that winning records in that, yeah.
Is there anyone particular you've got your eye on, or a particular title maybe?
No one particular that I got my eyes on, just titles. Yeah, hopefully be looking at the English and stuff, or maybe international routes. Any sort of title would get my attention, to be honest. There's no one particular and no particular title, it's just a title.
Who did you look up to boxing-wise when you first started getting into the sport? Who have you kind of patterned yourself after, apart from Ahmed, of course, who you know personally?
Yeah, well, I got into boxing late, so at that time, Mayweather was the guy, innit? So I used to watch a lot of Mayweather's fights. I used to study Mayweather, just try to be everything like Mayweather. Obviously, not a lot of it worked for me, but as I went on, I started looking at guys like Andre Ward. learned a lot, studied him a lot, and now the guy I look at now is Terence Crawford. So those are my kind of guys that I kind of look to.
And as a London boy, like born and bred, how much does it mean to you getting to fight somewhere like Wembley Arena?
Yeah, it's a great venue. It's a good venue because obviously I started to find out you're cool. To me, that was good because as an amateur, I never fought there. I'm fighting on dinner shows and other venues. So when I found out you're cool, to me that was yeah. I'm like you're cool kind of thing. Like everyone's been here. Like this is the mecca of boxing in England for small shows kind of thing. Now we're at Wembley. The last one was Royal Albert Hall. That was also a good show. I loved it there.
Ticking a few off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm ticking off the boxes. And now we're at Wembley. When I tell people, they're like, "Oh, Wembley." So it's a good venue to be at. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. Just want to put on a performance and make hopefully everyone enjoys it.
I know you're very active on social media. There'll be people out there that want to engage with you. Just tell them how they can do that, what your handles are.
2sharp_D, so the number 2 sharp_D on both Instagram and Twitter. You can find me there.
Brilliant. Well, we thank you for your time. We look forward to watching you on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Cheers.